What's good, YouTube? Slender Revolution X here, coming to you guys with a video today on the Forbidden Limited list. Coming up this Friday, it's supposed to come out for the January 1st format. And here we go again. It happens every format. You know, you guys probably can't, probably are tired of videos by now. Tired of projections, tired of people's thoughts on it, things like this. And, I mean, you can only get so many ban list predictions before you get tired of it. So I'm not going to throw that kind of stuff at you. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the ban list, about this new format that they're coming into, and about what it might bring to you. Some cards that I think, should come off, some cards I think they shouldn't come off. Not necessarily predictions. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm saying that these are my thoughts on it. So I'm going to leave the predictions up to other channels. I think there's plenty of them out there, and, if worst comes to worst, you guys are going to know in a week. Like I said, I've said it in previous ban list videos, patience is a virtue. It's not like anything's going to change. It's going to get here when it gets here. So there's no use quarreling over these things beforehand, So, first I wanted to talk about what I think really needs to be banned. 6th Sense. I think that card came out simply as a ploy to sell product. I don't think they ever intended in this card staying around through the January format. Because of its power, and you couldn't try to play competitively, essentially, without this card. So it was a great ploy for them to be able to sell you Joey's World, the Legendary Collections, because it wasn't common in there, but it was very, very hard to get. So that means most people had to buy 2, 3. It wasn't guaranteed in every box. Is what I'm trying to say. So you weren't seeing them a lot. You needed this card to play competitively. I mean, it is essentially a +6 card. Can be, at its best, a +6 card, which is insane. It's not, I wouldn't say it's an auto win, but it's pretty darn close. It's about as auto win as you can get without, just playing it and game being over, Another one is Return from the Different Dimension. I know these two cards have been talked about, but I think that we need to realize that without Return, Dragons would not be as formidable as they are. Still a great deck, but I think if you get rid of the Return, I think you can stick around with having the Dragons stay at 3 each. It allows you to still use Dragons in the Dragon Rulers in the other decks in their element-specific decks. So in Fire decks, in Water decks, in Earth decks, in Wind decks. Yeah, that's the last one. So I think in banning Return, you get rid of that auto-win factor of the deck. I mean, I know we've all been there. I've been there plenty of times when you have your opponent on the ropes. And I don't think it's good for one card to be able to single-handedly turn the game around and win it for you. And so what, it pays you half for your life points. We know that that's not a big deal ever since back when Solemn was at 3 and people were running 3 Solemns, and sure, you're paying half your life points, but you can completely stop an opponent's play. And in this case, you can completely win the game, especially with all the removal that Dragons bring to the table. So, I'm thinking that those cards need to be banned. If they don't end up banning that, I think you need to think about banning possibly Debris Dragon. And I know this name hasn't really been tossed around, but it was something I was seriously thinking about. With the Dragon Ruler deck, it is so easy to go into level 11s. And do a lot of different synchros using that. Using the tuners that you ditch to the graveyard and you can bring back with the Debris Dragon. Things like that. It allows for a lot of versatile plays in that deck. And I don't think that in that deck, it's being used for what it was meant to be used for. It's a really game-changing card. It's a +1, and with the easy accessibilities to Dragons, you have Star Eaters like it was nobody's business. Like just normal summoning without any targets in the graveyard, Star Eaters, things like that. And I think if they ended up banning Debris Dragon, you would start to see other tuners be played, which would be something cool. You'd see some variety in decks. And I think that that's something that people really want to see. Even if it is in Dragon decks. I think people are tired of seeing the top Dragon decks at every event. We just had Karakuri, Geargive win a YCS, and you think it would change the world, for something else to win in this past year, it's amazing, It's because you're automatically starting off at a disadvantage strictly from deck building. So, I think we could see a couple different cards get banned. I'm not sure which, but like I said, patience is a virtue. We will eventually find out by the end of this week. And when we get to that point, we get to that point. You know, we can talk about it then, but I think I just want to get my thoughts out there in this video. So, moving on to the cards I think that should come off the list. Number one, Wind Up Carrier Zenmaity. I wouldn't say bring this card to 3, absolutely not, because then you get things like the Wind Up loop back. But I think putting it at 1 allows people to start playing Wind Up decks again. You know, we haven't seen a lot of it. It's a fairly new archetype. I don't see why you would kill it off by banning its recruiting card. You know, it's a little disappointing to see that card go so quickly, down to 1 and then to nothing, when we still have, you know, Zanmaio and Zenmaines, both of which are good cards, but, you know, we don't see any wind-up decks anymore, so it would be nice to see that card come back, just to maybe see some more wind-up plays. I hate seeing dead archetypes. It's not cool. I think every archetype should have some sort of playability in this game, you know, and it's tough to see things like that go. Another one is Shockmaster. Now, albeit Shockmaster stops people from playing Yu-Gi-Ohs, you know, it can shut down your opponent very quickly, or you can get shut down by it very quickly if your opponent has it. But I think that it's a high-risk, high-reward card. You know, if you are willing to give up 3 monsters for this card, I think you should be able to gain advantage. And it's not like for the entire game. You know, it's 3 turns, and then it's gone. It doesn't instantly win the game by itself. Granted, it's a great power card, but like I said, it's high risk, high reward. So I really don't like seeing that thing on the ban list. Granted, it's a high power card, but it's just tough for me. And some things that are a little pushy that I, you know, think we could deal with, but aren't game-winning cards, you know. Solemn Judgment, of course. I think having Solemn Judgment at 1 kept the game in check. I think it was a very good card to have at 1. You don't see a lot of counter traps out there. And, you know, sometimes Solemn Warning doesn't cut it, you know. It's nice to have a card that paying half your life points can stop anything 1 time. You know, so there's that. I would like to see Solemn Judgment come off. Second is Pot of Greed. The reason I think Pot of Greed, granted, it's a automatic +1. No downside whatsoever. But I think, you know, we played with Monster Reborn within a format for how long, and, you know, it wasn't crazy because everybody was allowed to run it, and everybody could efficiently run it. And I think the same thing could go with Pot of Greed. You know, it's a very generic card, and I think it can help a lot of decks out to gain some speed. So, as another pushy card, you know, I don't think it's anything definite. I don't think, you know, we would hurt if it didn't come off. I don't think I'd be upset if it did come off, you know. It's just my thoughts, like I said. And last but not least, guys, I wanted to talk about the Giants Runade Heavy Storm Dilemma. These are game-changing cards, but, you know, I don't want to live in a format when you can just load up back row and be okay. I think there needs to be some sort of card that can punish you for overcommitting to the field. We have Dark Hole, which does that. We have Torrential Tribute, which does that for monsters. I think we need to have some sort of back row punishing card that if you want to set 5 pass, you can get punished for it. And I think that's how the game should be played. I don't think you should be able to do that and win. You know, you're already have a very high advantage going from turn 1. If you go first on turn 1, you already have an advantage over your opponent, in my opinion. So I think for those decks, you know, back row heavy decks, things like, especially competitive ones right now, you know, Evil Swarm, Constellars, Fire Fist, I think that it needs to be addressed before it gets out of hand. So I think it's a little pushy, but I would like to see one of those come off, you know. So, other than that, guys, you know, these are my thoughts on this ban list. Grant, like I said, we have a week. It's going to be out in the week. Don't go crazy over anybody's, you know, ban list prediction videos, leaked ban list. You know, if it were up to me, I would tell you guys don't even look at a leaked ban list, because either you're going to get butthurt and it's going to look ridiculous, or, you know, it's going to be so, like, out of this world that, you know, you can't even handle it. It's not even, like I said, it's not even worth your time to look at these leaked videos. Just wait. Patience is a virtue. We're going to get there. I promise you, you will make it to the end of this week, and we will have our ban list for the next format. But other than that, guys, I really hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you guys did. If you guys have anything to say, any contributions to the ban list that you think may happen, leave them in the comment section below. I love to hear from you guys. And always remember, guys, check out my Twitter. I did just start up a Twitter going around. It's just SlendRevX. I think I have a link to it on my page. Just check it out for me. Something new I'm trying. I may start an Instagram. I don't think so. I don't know. It's up in the air right now. But check that out. I also have a 100 subscriber contest going on right now. If you guys haven't seen it, just go look at that video, giving you guys an opportunity to win some free stuff. But other than that, guys, you know how it is. Remember to always subscribe to join the revolution today. This is Slender Revolution X signing out, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy.